Not the way I planned on starting this video. Out here at the Wild Azalea Trail, you can see back there they've started doing a bunch of logging. You saw the sign that I saw over there. I can hear logging operations going on down there. Let's go someplace else to do our video today, which means that the overnighter I was planning on doing this weekend is not going to happen over here. So we need to find a new spot. Definitely no lack of firewood back here. Y'all can probably hear what I'm hearing. So we'll go see what that is. There's a lot of little connecting areas here in this water. This is what's making so much noise. Just have to see if I can find a nice comfortable place to camp. I think what I might do is try to get up on the edge of that. There's a ridge up there, and where that ridge meets down here in the valley, sort of where the water is, I might try to go right on the edge there. I'll have plenty of fresh water that I can come get if I need. And like I said, tons of firewood back there, so I'm going to scout around a little more, then we're going to go up there and start a little fire in my Gen2 Nano from Firebox and make some coffee. Despite all the wet, we're going to try to make a little flint and steel fire today. Mix it up a little bit. One of the things I like about spots like this is that I'm so close to the water. I plan on making a fire. There's no rocks here in this part of Louisiana, at least. There are parts where there are rocks, so to make a fire ring per se is difficult. The ground is so wet that you can clear off all the, the debris and make a safe fire and just make sure it goes out. And then when I leave, I'll just get plenty of water from the creek and make sure it's out, out, out. Practice good fire safety, it's really important. But just looking around, what I look for, a place to camp, especially since I'm going to be doing a bushcraft camp. There's lots of wood on the ground down here that I can burn, cut up very easily, different sizes. I can bring my saw and my axe and make sure I have a good time with those. And then like I said back here, there's quite a few sturdy trees that I can hang my hammock from, kind of sleep in a separate area from where I'm cooking and doing my fire and stuff. So as long as everything works out with the family and I'm able to get away, this weekend I'm going to come out here. Even though I'm going to need those in to use my little cup, I'll put it in like this till I get the fire started. I put a nice little layer. There's lots of ways to get these stoves started. I put a nice little layer at the bottom there, and then I'll get a fire going. Hopefully a small flint and steel fire. Pop it in there, and then I'll put these little things on top and then keep adding these, and we should get enough flame very quickly just to boil some water, which is all we're doing today. Walking in, y'all saw me collect this stuff, just some dry pine straw and then some dry leaf type material. I'm going to use about half of this. I don't want to make a huge fire. It can be tricky to use pine straw sometimes with a flint and steel. It has to be pretty dry. So what I'll do is put a little round of the pine straw and then put this stuff in the middle. This may or may not work. I mean, I'll just tell y'all right now, this may or may not work. But we're gonna try it anyway. Have a little extra in case we fail, we can try again. This is my steel. This is my piece of flint. Now my recommendation to you guys, especially when you're learning to do flint and steel, is to use plenty of char cloth. Until you get good at it, and I'm certainly not great at it, I put a whole piece of char cloth in, and then I'll get another piece lit. And by giving yourself a lot of char cloth, it allows you to make a bigger ember, and ultimately that's what's going to catch fire for you. I'd like to bring y'all in closer, but it's hard to both bring you in close and also show you the technique. So, all right, so I've got the char going. I don't know if you can see, but it's going. Put this on your other piece of char cloth and then kind of put it together. Now, when you do this, you want to start with just a little bit of air so that you allow the area around it to start to, you can just cover it up a little bit, to get dry, okay? To give yourself a little bit of insurance policy. All right, once you start to hear it a little bit going, okay, just give it a second. And again, you're allowing that area around it to get drier. Now you just have to hope, and there it goes. I was going to say, now you just have to hope that it will catch. Now I know I'm going to get a lot of questions about the flint and steel fire and how I did it, and want to see a little bit closer. This is actually a separate fire I made just to show you guys closer how I put together the bundle, how I put the cloth in there, and how to start the fire. Let that move over on top of my stove, and then I'll put my little twigs on. I'm on top of the X case, and it is drenched around here, so we're not going to have any chance of fire. The goal, of course, here is to, with the top fire, basically get enough of a little bit of coal bed to go down and catch the other stuff that you put underneath, and it should work. I'm gonna get my gloves now and Clear this base out a little bit. I'm gonna flip my little legs around. This is why Firebox makes this design. You want to try to make it as stable as you can. I'm going to boil my water in my Nalgene because I'm going to do a little pour over coffee today, and I need the stainless steel cup to do that, so put that right on there. I'm going to highlight again this product, Pocket Bellows. Basically just a long tube that you can blow air through. Now I don't even really need it, but I'll show y'all real quickly without tipping over my thing. One blow is all you need, and you got yourself a nice fire going. You can put wood in from the side on this model, but in situations like this, I like to just throw it in from the side, make little pieces, and it works just fine. So while that gets to boiling, let me show y'all what we're gonna use to make our coffee. All right, let's see what we got here. In case y'all were wondering, this is the Hidden Woodsman Sammy pouch, and you can fit the stainless steel cup and the Nalgene in there, and it does close, so that's really nice. So we're gonna use probably my favorite lightweight way to make coffee, which is this GSI ultralight coffee drip. Super easy to use. You just clip it on the side of your cup like this, just like that. All right, make sure it's nice and stable, and I'll just pour some coffee in there. Now, GSI says to use this with a filter. I never have. Works just fine for me. That's exactly what we're going to use. We'll just wait for our water to be boiling, and we'll pour it over. It's really easy to clean up. You can just pour the coffee grounds out, use a little bit of the water to clear out the excess coffee grounds, and it'll dry in no time. Well, due to the wetness, this thing keeps going out. I mean, not going out, it just doesn't have enough flame. It's gonna take forever to get this to boil, so put some little bit bigger pieces, and then we'll just get it going. I think this bit of wood will be all I need to get it going. There we go. Now it's going. Yes, I'm pretty bummed about that first spot being closed for logging for multiple reasons. One, of course, is that's where I wanted to go. Second of all, hope they don't log too close to the Wild Azalea Trail, which I'm sure they will. Every year it seems like they chop away more and more, which is kind of a bummer. But they do leave the core area and surrounding areas, so. A little bit more of a wind than I thought. Probably if I would have set up the windscreen, it would have worked a little bit better, but ain't in no hurry. You know, my son is a scout, and we were at a camp recently, and the guy was teaching him how to start a fire, different ways to start a fire. It's kind of odd the way he chose to show them was with a 9-volt battery and steel wool, which is neat, but not exactly something you usually have in an emergency situation. But he said something interesting. He said if any of his scouts start a fire with pine products such as pine straw, then he doesn't let them do it. I don't understand why. I think you guys saw how well the pine straw caught. Fire's a fire, man. Fire's a fire. And this one's going. I think I hear coffee. And very often, most often, when I'm making drip coffee, I actually will not let the water go to a full boil. I think that the coffee tastes better if you just let it come to almost a boil. Again, put a little bit in, Let it bloom, as they say. And then just slowly pour it in. Now, of course, if you're, purifying water, you don't let it boil good. But this water was from my house. Little tip you can do if you got a bunch of soot and stuff on the bottom, just get yourself some roughage like this pine straw while it's still warm and just rub it on there. And it'll clean off most of that stuff. And that way it's not sticky when you put it back in your nice kit. If you're gonna do this, guys, be very careful, but I just carry. Oh, I left those in there. I just carry my stove over here where I know it's wet as the dickens. Now that it's there, I can smush it in. You can see how wet it is. That ain't catching on fire, folks. Y'all know how I roll. Apparently I roll with a fly in my coffee. That is good stuff. Just decided to come out and scout today for a place to camp. And as y'all saw, my first place was foiled by progress, I guess, what they call it. And I had also thought about this area, and it works really well. I'm just maybe 15-minute walk from the car, but I'm very isolated, which is really nice. As y'all saw at the beginning, I basically just turned off the trail and came out this way, which works out really, really well. This is a relatively open area. I have this side over here, which is pretty covered. Depending on if we get much more rain, the reason I chose this open area because it slopes down. Y'all could see right over there, 10 feet away, how wet that ground was. And that's not very fun. Yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Try to show a little bit different stuff. Collected some natural stuff out here. Did a little flint and steel fire. Really simple to do. Just be patient, like I showed you guys. Don't go crazy blowing right at the beginning. Let that area and that little pocket dry out. No matter how dry you think the stuff is. You saw that I pulled the pine straw straight off of a tree hanging up, and that leaf-like material, which is fern-like material, was definitely dry. It caught very well, but you have to be patient. If you are, you'll do just fine. So hopefully the next time I'm out here will be in just about a week, and I'll be doing an overnighter. I'll probably do a gear video for it. I may even do it while I'm out here. Call it a hybrid bushcraft video because although I'll be doing some bushcraft, especially cooking out here over an open fire, gathering wood, processing wood with a saw and an axe, I'm gonna be sleeping in a hammock, modern hammock system. I'll have tarps. May even bring my new camp chair. Not bushcraft, but very comfortable. I can't wait to use it, so I guess bushcraft is what you call it, right? Channel continues to do really well. I really appreciate all that, guys. Response to my first video I did recently with the Gen 2 Nano was very good. Appreciate that a lot. Trying to put more into my videos and learning editing more and just try to get better at things. So hope you guys see that. Hope you enjoy it. I'm gonna finish my coffee in some peace here. Probably scout around a little bit more, make sure I know where a little bit more wood is, and find a really good safe spot to have a fire. And like I said, hopefully, if family permits and everything works out this weekend, I'll be back out here. As always, guys, I appreciate you checking out the Paleo Hiker MD channel. So if it's not this weekend, it'll be a weekend soon. But stay tuned for that video and more videos here on Paleo Hiker MD.